Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we read about the signs of mud. So basically there are two types of mud. First one is written like that. We say this is a big mud, and next is written like that. So this mud we stretch on a 5 seconds. Which letter has this types of mud? So we stretch a 5 seconds. And which letter has this sign of mud? So we stretch a 3 seconds. Simple. This is difference about only a stretching. Like which letter has this sign of mud? So we stretch a 5 seconds. And which letter has this sign of mud? So we stretch a 3 seconds. So when we read some previous lessons, like when alif has any sign, fatha, kasra, dhamma, double fatha, double kasra, double dhamma, or any sign like sign of sakin, sign of tashdid. So we read this is a alif. This is a this is a hamza, but only on this sign when alif has a sign of mad. So we say this is alif. Only on this sign we read this is a alif. When alif has a sign of mad, so we read this is a alif. This is not a hamza. Okay. Like when in here there is a first word. So in here alif has a sign of mad. So when we pronounce this word, so we stretch a 5 seconds like jim, alif, fatha, ja, jim, alif, fatha, ja. We didn't read this sign of mad, like we read a fatha, but we didn't read this sign of mad, but we read according to this sign. Jim, alif, fatha, ja, hamza, fatha, ja. Okay, so in next word, here is a little bit difference. Like in here, first is jim, then alif, and then ya. And also ya has a sign of sakin. So we combine the previous letter onto this letter. So in here we read the 3 letters: jim, alif, ya, like that. Jim, alif, ya, kasra, ji. Why we read alif? Because alif has a sign of mad, so we read alif. Jim, alif, ya, kasra, ji. Hamza, fatha, ji. Okay, so next is we see this word. So in this word, first is a dad, then alif, and then next is a lam, and lam has also the sign of tashdid. So in here we combine the 3 letters like dad, alif, lam. Why we read alif? Because alif has a sign of mad. So on these conditions, when alif has a sign of mad, so we read alif. So we read dad, alif, lam, fatha, zal, zal. Okay, lam, double fatha, lan, zalan, zalan, like that. Next is like in here we read again combine 3 letters like tal, alif, ba. Why we combine ba? Because ba has a sign of tashdid. So we read ba, dal, alif, ba, fatha, dab, ba, fatha, ba, dabba, ta, double kasratin, dabbatin. Like some students read dabbatin. No. So we combine ba. So dabbatin, like that. So in this word, next is this is. So first letter is waw. Waw has a sign of fatha. And after the waw is a alif. Alif has a no sign. Then lam has a no sign. Then next is a swad. And swad has a sign of tashdid. So we combine waw with the swad. Wow, Swat, Fatha was, and then Swat has a vertical sign, and again sign of Mad. And next is a Fa, Fa has a sign of Tashdid. So we combine Swat with the Fa. So how we combine? Swat, vertical, Fatha, Fa. So Fa, vertical, Fatha, Fa. صافا والصافا كسرتي والصافات like that والصافات in here so in here apply the sign of the rules of Nun Sakin, and third rule of Nun Sakin it's a iqlab. So after the Nun Sakin is a Yarmalun letter, so apply a iqlab. So how we read? So in this condition Nun Sakin is silent, so Hamza Ya Fatha Ain, Hamza Ya Fatha Ain, Ya Fatha Ya Ain Ya. So we also read like when Yarmalun letters we read with Ghunna. Ayya, ta fathata, ayyata, mim, alif, sin. Fatha mas, ayyata mas, sin, alif, fatha sa, ayyata masa, like that. Ayyata masa. Ayatamasa. We read like that. So must be remembered that this is the sign of Mad, and which letter has this sign. So we stretch of 5 seconds, and when Alif has a sign of Mad, so we didn't read this is a Hamza, we read this is a Alif, and we also read this alif when we pronounce the different words. Like in here alif has only sign of mad, so must be read this alif. We didn't silent or we didn't skip this alif, so must be practiced. These some words and this chapter is a chapter number 17.